been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Everything Goes podcast with Ace, my dad, and myself. Wow, has a lot happened in the past 2 to 3 days since we podcast, between NFL trades, between quarterbacks getting shipped off that we were told weren't going to get shipped off, between MLB coming to an agreement, and now you're going to see a free agency fire go up as people are going to be landing left and right. Bryce Harper's already recruiting Kris Bryant. What a week. How are you guys doing?
Carlos Rendon to the Giants already, 44 mil.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's Friday, full work day of a work week. Hope you guys are enjoying your week and getting ready for that weekend.
I am, but I gotta tell you, I'm frustrated with two things. I'm frustrated with technology, and I'm frustrated with guests saying they're gonna come on, and then they just cold turkey just cut you off, and they don't answer you anymore. And it's just like, you know what? I need a break.
That's fair
for guests. We don't need guests. We have the three of us. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, a big happy birthday to one of our biggest fans, Rudy.
Rudy's birthday? Happy birthday, Rudy.
Happy birthday, Rudy.
Hey, we could have him come on again, come to think of it.
Hey, my dad has an extra seat over there now that I'm down here in Florida.
I get the random rant too, Kris, where it kind of is like you want to try to set up stuff, and I know it's somewhat informal now in today's world with technology, where you can like easily get a hold of somebody, and it's basically like you got their phone number at their disposal, more or less, and whatever. That's
the worst is communicating through Twitter, because like you send them a message and it could take days before they get that message. And I was willing to give out my phone number and just work things out that way, but it didn't work out, and we'll eventually get them on and we'll see what happens. But it gets frustrating.
And then I think what's tough as far as the podcast technology has been that, you know, he's the home base, and it's hard over Zoom to like try and figure out when a problem's happening. I'm not there to like look at everything and be like, yeah, this is what's going on.
The thing is nothing has been touched, nothing's been changed. I don't understand what's going on. I'll figure it out.
Sometimes it could be a wire. Sometimes the computer does its own thing, which is very annoying. It's technology for you.
I'm going to start my solo podcast, Angry Random Rants, and then I'll practice during the week, and then I'll jump back on with you guys.
Yankees subject line, Yankees talk or something.
No, subject talk. Cowboys. The frustration of being a Cowboys fan with all the freaking crap from the Rich Dalrymple stuff to Jerry Jones having another daughter, mystery daughter, to them talking about cutting good players. I mean, getting rid of good players. It's just like, why? I mean, the NFC is wide open. All you gotta do is get through Aaron Rodgers now, and we're cutting bait and getting rid of people. It's frustrating.
Hey, let's dive into some baseball quick, because there's not as much baseball to talk about as football. So Derek Jeter, we talked about last podcast, he stepped down from the Marlins, and then CeCe Sabathia comes out today, and he says how Jeter was upset because the Miami Marlins, they wouldn't allow him to go and spend money to get the team better. So that made me start thinking, how many teams really just don't spend? And that bothers me, because you got teams like the Pirates, the Marlins, the Orioles, teams that haven't been good in a while, and they don't spend the money. But then you have their fans that go, "Oh man, the Yankees, they only win games because they spend money." Well, your owner could be spending money, but clearly these owners don't want to spend the money. So it's like, what are they doing? Like, what is the purpose of not spending money?
That's the competitive balance, or imbalance. Go ahead, Kris.
The 8 lowest marketed teams were the ones that voted against all the changes, and let's face it, they're the winners. The only thing they're going to have to do is the minimum salary went up. That's the only thing they're going to have to pay. So I think, what is it? The Pirates, I think they only have $44 million total for a salary, which is ridiculous. Again, they're not going to have to spend. But the only thing I think they're going to be punished, if I'm not mistaken, they're not guaranteed the top picks anymore. They go into a poll where I think, if you tank on purpose or however it works out, you don't get those top picks. You go into like 12th or 13th for picks, which is good.
That is good. But I think there should be some type of rule where if you're an owner and within 3 years, if you haven't made a splash or if you hadn't made any upgrade to your team and you're just hoping for that farm system year after year after year, like there should be competitive boundaries. Like you should always be trying to make your team better every year. Like, when's the last time you saw the Marlins were good? I couldn't tell you my whole childhood. I don't think I've seen the Marlins with the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
2000.
COVID year.
Early
COVID year.
2000s. COVID, yeah, COVID
60,
year.
60, or was it 80 games? But anyway, by the way, breaking news. The Braves are pursuing
Da,
Matt
da, da,
Olson,
da, da, da.
which is a good sign for the Yankees because the Yankees and the Dodgers are the top landing spots right now for Freddie Freeman.
So
Really?
can you repeat what the breaking news is though?
Yeah, sorry.
The Braves are pursuing Matt Olson, who's a first baseman.
I think it'd be a worldwide shock
Weird. Yeah.
if Freddie Freeman got up and left the Braves after being there for so long and winning a World Series. I mean, does he not, like, if you're Freddie Freeman right now, would you want to leave the Braves with how good they still are?
Well, we talked about this before, and that was your stance, I think, at the time too, Ties. Why would you even look elsewhere? The dude should retire as a. That's what you had said. Something like he should retire as a.
Yeah, like
Brave.
a Chipper Jones
The
almost.
chipper,
like a Chipper
yeah.
Jones.
It just makes sense.
But maybe
Huh.
maybe he knows that the Braves aren't going to be competitive. He got his World Series.
That's
you know,
fair.
as lucky
Yep.
as it is. Maybe he's like, screw it. Now it's time to go get the money. And if he gets a
Yeah.
6-year deal with the Yankees for $100+ million, it's a win-win. You got a ring, plus you're going to the Bronx with a short porch, which is going to bolster his numbers. He'll be a good fit in pinstripes.
There's
Yeah,
only
God,
like
that's so weird.
there's like one way I'm looking at this. Like, he's finally got a ring, so maybe he's like, you know what? I did my job in Atlanta. And let me taste that free agency a little bit, because like we said, like, the Braves still are contenders. They still have great pitching. They have great players.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know, as someone who's as good as Freddie Freeman every single year. It seems like he never gets worse every year. Like, why he would even leave that team. But hey, I mean, that's a tough debate though, Dad. Like, would you want Freddie Freeman or do you stick with Rizzo? Because I like both, but Freddie Freeman's a lot better at hitting.
Well, who's younger?
I want to say they're around the same age. I mean, there can't be much of a difference really between them.
Early 30s. Well, rumor
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
it Rizzo's going back to the Cubs. So I mean, that's one of the rumors that's out there.
Really? Wow.
Defensively, who's a better player? I think Freeman's a better defensive first baseman.
You know what? I think it's just so close. I think the main thing is hitting. I think hitting wise, it's Freddie Freeman, but it's just like,
Screw it. Get them both. We need a DH too.
nah,
That's
they're
such a-
both, because we do a Luke Voigt then,
Let
Then they
him go.
need Correa. Just put Correa in like the 8th hole or something. Who cares at that point?
Luke
What's one
Voigt,
thing-
he's going to get the nickname Street Clothes too.
Hey, what do
What's
you
one-
guys? Oh, sorry. I was going to ask about the competitive balance. Maybe I agree with you. I totally agree with you, Ty, to put a bow on it about competitive imbalance and making these teams, the owners have to try within, like, show something, whether it's analytics or they have to have a model to be able to prove that they're willing to win and
Yeah.
get the right players in there. And maybe even like beyond that, a minimum. Like, you have to spend over this amount. You put a
Yeah.
ceiling on it. So you have to,
Yeah. I like that rule. I like that rule a lot. Like, you have to at least spend this much money in one year,
Yeah.
whether it's on your farm system, whether it's on your MLB roster. You need to at least make some moves. I love how Ace popped out the Twins hat today, representing baseball's back. I know it was probably dusty up there on that shelf.
yeah, a little bit. And the Yankees, of course. Chris has on.
Hey,
I
Some
wanted
more
to-
news in the MLB. The Dodgers are expected to re-sign Clayton Kershaw.
I saw
Like we
that.
talked, they're also extending their
makes sense.
manager Roberts. He's nearing an extension, so the Dodgers are back in place again. Albert Pujols, the Rockies are looking at him, and the Mariners as well are
Yeah,
two spots where
I
he
saw
can
that.
end up. Which
I
now
saw
the
that.
DH is back. The DH is universal DH. I mean, that opens
Wait,
up
is
things
that
now.
is that part of the new rules?
Oh,
They
yeah.
give DH
That's
to
it.
the National League now
Universal
too?
No more shifts. I love it. I love
Wait.
I was going to talk about
the
that. Yes.
I thought the shift didn't get passed for this new rule yet.
Oh, no more shift.
Are we
No
sure
more
with
shift.
Korkmaz about that? Because I'm happy
Yes.
if that is a real thing.
More
I think the
positive
shift.
and designated DH. I mean,
I think the shift is like a weird thing, because at times it was nice when your team was playing defense, but man, there's a lot of guys that probably would be all-star hitters if there was no shift.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Twins have
Yeah.
half of those. Half their team is those guys. Well, we've
Gary
adopted
Sanchez
the long
might hit
ball,
250 this year.
Hey, but for
Right?
real though, you think about guys like Joey Gallo on the Yankees, Gary Sanchez, even Aaron Judge at some
Mm-hmm.
points. Like, that's huge. Like, that's really gonna bring back old school baseball. And I think they're pushing the time clock now for pitchers too. But what's up with the bigger bases? Is that just to avoid
Yes.
injuries?
That's what I was just going to ask. What's the
Look,
point?
The time clock and the bigger bases are two of the things they have 45 days to decide on. So that's not in place yet.
What's
Those are two
going
of
through
the
your
main-
mind as far as bigger bases? Is it to like give the first baseman more room as so he doesn't
Injury.
get cleated, same
Yeah,
as the
injury.
pitcher? Like if you think of a pitcher when he does the J walk, the J run.
They should just go to a double bag like softball.
No, that's stupid. I've got to get a bigger bag.
It doesn't matter if
Isn't
it's bigger.
every
It's probably-
base bigger? Like it's not just first, right? Every base is bigger except for home, probably.
I would
Like,
assume so.
God,
I
imagine.
didn't-
Sorry, I was gonna say, imagine if you had to go to the field one day and you got the report that you had to dig out home plate and make it like, I don't know, 2 inches wider on each side or something stupid.
Oh, you would just have to make a little dig a hole
be
in 2
fun,
inches in the
I
side.
guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
Hey,
think it's going
I
to be.
think-
I don't think it's going to be home plate because that's going to benefit pitchers.
Yeah.
Oh
good
yeah,
point.
that's a
I
really
think it's
good
just.
point.
I think it's just going to be first base,
Yeah.
and it's still going to be 60 foot. It'll probably be 60 foot to the front of the bag.
Man, we should have made like a list of the free. I know they came out with a Bleacher Report came out with a list of like, hey, here's the list of free agents that are still available because we all know we haven't been
300. of them.
looking into
Hey,
baseball
hey,
for how
yeah,
long.
I have.
But
that
what's one thing you guys are looking forward to that you want your team to at least try to do this offseason with the Twins and Dad with the Yankees? Maybe it's trading somebody. Where what big free agent would you like your team to see go get?
Yankees need a shortstop, but I don't want to see them spend $300 million on a guy that doesn't. I mean, I don't want to see that. Pick up somebody or bring up some of those minor leaguers or move Gio over to shortstop. But I don't want to see him make a big splash. If you can make a big splash, get me another pitcher, another starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, Ace?
Yeah, we need a bona fide starter because I think our team, at least offensively, is built pretty well. Defensively, we should, as long as Buxton stays healthy, we'll be in it. We just re-signed him. And I'm blanking.
Oh yeah,
on the
you
other guy.
you had a lot of injuries last year, so I think the Twins will be really good contenders this year if they can get more pitching too to help.
Yeah, we need a big time pitcher. We always, dude, I'm not lying. For the last 10 plus years, this is why I've stopped following them. They'll do the same thing each offseason. Sign a couple veteran mid-level players and sign a couple mid-level like positional players and then a couple mid-level decent wannabe starters for like the last decade. It's like, dude, do something else for crying out loud.
I agree.
So
No, and just so you guys know,
okay.
there was 8 stud players, including Cole, Scherzer, Lindor, and 5 others that voted 8-0 against this deal. They didn't want the deal.
And they still passed anyway. I think they had I agree. There's probably a lot of things that the players don't like, but I think at this point you had to pass something to save baseball this year.
well, and that's the problem is it comes down to the like ultimately the players lose out on this. Nobody knows who the freaking owners are, right? So like they don't. Manfred gets all the blame for that crap, and rightly so. He's basically a scapegoat for them all. But it's frustrating. But yeah, ultimately it's back. I'd like to go to opening day. I plan to at least for the minor league team here. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
guys.
There's a lot of guys that hop on a plane overnight and they're already in Clearwater, Florida. But one thing I just want to say real quick that I'd like to see the Yankees do this year. I'd like to see them extend Judge. I think we need to keep Judge and keep him around. And I agree. I think we need a shortstop. And I would love to see Correa in a Yankees uniform because I know how good he is. But again, I don't want to spend that money like you said. I think a simple solution to that is I don't know if I was just curious. I don't know if Didi is still with the Phillies. I love Didi, but Trevor Story I think would be a good fit with the Yankees. Put him in there. Re-sign Judge. You got Gio at third. You got DJ at second. Bring back Rizzo or Freddie Freeman first base. Like that'd be a solid team.
Let me ask you guys this something because there's a lot of pressure now since everything's going to be rushed. I mean, they got to be in camp by Sunday. That's the last day to get into camp. Would you see players taking a 1-year deal to go back to their teams because you can't really sit out? You know, it's gonna. I mean, April 7th is the first game, so you think you'll see players take a 1-year deal, like a Correa go back to Houston for 1 year, or see a Trevor Story go back to the Colorado Rockies for 1 year?
See, I think me personally, I would say yes. If I was a professional athlete, I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to be not playing baseball. Give me a 1-year deal. But in today's world, like look around it, NBA, NFL, you are not going to have somebody like Carlos Correa who's going to be like, yeah, I'll come back to Houston for 1 year. That guy knows how good he is. There's plenty of film on him. He's expecting $300 million. He's going to get it. One team is going to give him at least 250, if not more. But
oh, sorry. I was just going to say that's another thing too, is when you can allow teams to spend this much on one player too, like you got to have a ceiling and a floor also to kind of put a bow on all of that again.
What I will say though, Dad, is I think this whole situation with the agreement screwed a lot of guys from getting big contracts. I think Correa and Trevor Story, I think they would have been paid so much money, but now not having so much time to talk with these people, to see how great of a human they are, how they interact with you, talk with them, discuss their positions and everything. Now it's like you said, everything's going to happen fast, and you're just going to see people getting signed left and right. Not for, I don't think people will do 1-year deals, but I think maybe you'll see like 2 or 3-year deals rather than these 5-year deals.
But two things. I think the owners have all the power now, because they don't have to negotiate with these guys. They can let them sit it out and sweat it out and work a deal. But another thing, the post lockout power rankings, they have Minnesota as the 23rd team in baseball. They have the Phillies as 15th. They have the Dodgers as 16th, which is crazy. Your top 10 is the Atlanta Braves, who won the World Series, as 10. You have the Boston Red Sox at 9. You have the Padres as 8. You have Toronto Blue Jays, who I think is not getting any justification for this. They're 7th. They should be in the top 3 easily.
I forgot how good the Padres were.
Houston Astros as 5th.
They have the Mets at 6.
The Yankees are 4th. Tampa Bay Rays as 3rd. Chicago White Sox as 2nd. And the Dodgers as the number 1. The Dodgers as number 1 team.
How the heck are you going to have the Mets, who struggled during the season, over not only the Padres but also Toronto?
But how did the Dodgers won with losing Max Scherzer and Corey Seager?
Where'd Max Scherzer go?
Yeah,
he went to the Mets.
Oh my gosh,
that's right. Yeah, I forgot too. We were talking God, before this. So what happened? Man. Yeah, we were talking what trades happened. Well, booyah, he went to the Mets.
Where did Corey Seager go? Did he land anywhere yet?
He went to Texas.
Oh my gosh, dude! Rangers, it's been a while since we talked about baseball, man. I need to go on YouTube and watch a recap of where some of these guys went. Like Stroman. I forgot. I didn't know Stroman was he's on the Cubs now, isn't he?
No, I thought he was still.
He was with the Mets.
That's a good point.
He was with the Mets. But I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he signed yet.
I thought I saw a report where it's like he's trying to recruit people to the Cubs. I could be totally wrong, but I'm almost positive I saw that.
I don't know. But I don't know. There's already videos out there of the White Sox players in camp. Vladimir Guerrero's already in camp, and they show a video of a White Sox reliever throwing a ball that wasn't a strike, and he loses his temper.
Yeah, I saw. The White Sox are good. Oh, you know what? Are they doing the Field of Dreams again this year? Aren't they? But it's 2 different teams. I love that. Should be. I hope they keep that a yearly thing. I'm pretty sure they are doing it this year. I just forget what teams are in it. That was an amazing game between the Yankees and the White Sox last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to catch up on in MLB. I'm so excited. Like you said that, I think so much is going to happen so fast.
But there's like 299 free agents still available after. Well, I'm not sure of any of them. There was 300 yesterday when the deals got approved. 300 free agents, and I only know a couple big ones that got signed. So we're sitting in the 290 range. But they're saying the winners of the new deal are definitely the young players because of salary cap. I mean, the contracts are going to be going up as far as their starting salaries. It went from 570,000 to 700,000. So that's a 22% raise right there just for younger players, which is a plus for them. $50 million of the bonus pool is huge for the top 100 standout players. So like Corbin Burns, who won that Cy Young last year, and rookies Randy Arozarena, they'll all get better bonuses for winning those awards now. They won't, but the next year's rookies, whoever get awards, will. So for the younger players, it works. They're saying
it's
the losers.
Nice. It's nice, Ace. These guys' little phone there while we have to look at our phones. You know, I don't have my phone to look at. It's pretty nice.
They're saying I have my computer locked up with this. My computer's locked up with other stuff. But they say the loser is the middle class players. Basically, it's just because of I guess arbitration and everything like that. Whatever with the luxury tax.
Yep.
They said the losers are the big spenders again because once again, you spend a lot. No. The lower teams are still going to benefit from it.
That's stupid.
Yeah, but I disagree with that. It's the stupid lower teams. We already went at the end of the day, that's the part that's ruining it. At least, yeah.
There's going to be 3. There's going to be 3 penalties now for teams that spend more than a certain amount. So that's why they're saying they're the losers.
Ooh, and Oh, interesting. What's funny is we have a potential weird spot with shortstop because we stopped relying on Jorge Polanco, got a veteran Andrelton Simmons last year, and he ended up playing second base. So now we're in this bind. Like, shoot, do we trust him to go back to short too? But we're nowhere close to. Like, we're not even going to even be close to signing. What's his name? Correa. We got 45 mil available. Sorry.
Well, you really have as much as you want to spend available. I mean, you just got to pay the penalties. But they said teams that go over the threshold barely, there'll be a penalty. But harsher penalties be for teams that went over by 20 million, 40 million. And people that went over by 60 million will really be hammered. They're calling it the Steve Cohen tax.
Oh, because of the Mets?
Mm-hmm.
He owns the Mets now? Okay. What the heck? They're trying. Who cares? It's baseball's fault, but
yeah. Well, I'm
happy
baseball's.
They said mid-tier contenders, it's a win for them now because they opened up the playoff bracket. So you're going to see two more extra teams into the playoffs, which it's 12 now instead of 10.
That's good, though. They should expand it a little bit.
And I think it's good for the fans. I mean, I think it gives teams more to play for. And me personally, I think that what they should do is they should have a halfway point, and you take the two best teams from that halfway point, and then have another halfway point at the end. You take those two teams, and that's who plays in the final two games to go to the World Series. And everyone else goes into some sort of a tournament or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Or like a 4. You can maybe make it 4 teams out of that. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why it's my opinion, Ty.
I respect your opinion. I'm happy baseball's back. There's a lot for us to catch up on. I just feel like there's so much in the NFL for us to dive into that we should start to dive into it. If you guys are ready for that, just because I think the biggest thing that has happened in the past a couple of days is Russell Wilson, man, traded to Denver. We thought for sure that was a landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. The AFC West. Let me break this down for you, Aaron, Dad. Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, and now Russell Wilson. Yes or no? Best quarterback division in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Yes.
I cannot believe it. You know, what sucks is when I'm at work, I don't have service. I'm on an island and I can see text messages though. So all day I'm in a group chat with my dad, Rudy, Noah, my brother. Geez. And all I see is, oh my gosh, did you guys see what happened? I'm like, no, I can't see it. So I have to wait. But did Denver win that trade? Do you think Denver wins that trade with how many picks they've given up? Like, would you have given what they gave up for Russell Wilson? I know we discussed how much is a quarterback worth.
All the professionals say, yeah.
I think so. I think so.
But I think if you're Seattle and you're rebuilding, I think you won just as well too. I mean, they just released Bobby Wagner as well, so they're definitely rebuilding.
Yo, wait. How about that though? Did you hear about Bobby Wagner said? He said he didn't even know that they cut him.
Dude, he had 172 tackles last year. He broke a record for Seattle.
And there's rumors
out there, Cowboys eyeing Bobby Wagner.
How do you cut a guy like that? How do you cut a guy who, he's getting older, but every year, bro, he is just so good. Dallas, that'd be a huge improvement for Dallas, especially if they, need to beef up some of the holes on that defense. But man, Seattle.
That's a.
What do you do? What do you do with Seattle now as far as your QB situation? You get Drew Lock. Do you ride out? Do you ride out?
I would
Drew
ride
Lock?
with him.
I would too.
Yeah, they're tanky. They're showing that they're tanking. They're giving up they're giving up their biggest leaders on each side of the field, on both sides of the field. Think about that.
There are rumors out there that they're taking those picks and they're converting it into a package to go after Deshaun Watson.
I did see that, but I'm really hoping it's a fake though, because I would love for the Saints to give up everything to get Watson. No, like for real, like I'm not trying to skip ahead though real quick, but if the Saints could land Watson. Now I'm not even going to get into it because he might get in trouble still by the NFL, even though he's proven innocent core. I hate that stupid stuff. That shouldn't even be allowed. But with our defense, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas come back and drafting a receiver in the second round with Deshaun Watson. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine that team? But getting back to Seattle, I would ride out Drew Lock, draft some offensive linemen, draft some receivers. But if you're Metcalf right now, how upset are you? Like, yes, you're happy to be playing the NFL, but you go from having Russell Wilson, you got Tyler Lockett on the other side of you, Bobby Wagner on the other side of defense, building that young defense. Your two captains, like Ace just said, are gone. Do you possibly want to get traded or do you want to stay?
I don't know. And as far as the quarterback goes, I mean, unless you're as athletic as Russell Wilson, you're running for your life with that offensive line they have there.
Yeah, I know. Drew Lock. You know what sucks for a quarterback like Drew Lock, right? A guy he's not bad, not good, not elite, nowhere close to that, right? You're trying to reamp your NFL career, right? You're like, all right, maybe I'll get a chance to start here in Seattle. Look at that offensive line, Russell. Look at highlights of Russell Wilson running for his life. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Yeah,
I'm going to my sources.
Oh, we got sources.
Carolina, by the way, is all in for Watson as well too.
Yeah, it's Carolina, the Saints, and Colts.
Give away your source.
Carolina is offering 3 1s plus 1 or 2 young players, which might be McCaffrey.
Oh, can you imagine McCaffrey going over the Texans plus 3 firsts?
But why would you want to go to Carolina if you're a quarterback that's decent? They have no weapons at all.
They got DJ Moore and they got Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson wants out, and New England's hot for him.
I don't know if Robbie Anderson wants out. I know that there's rumors that the Patriots are trying to trade for him.
Yeah,
Robbie Anderson said he wanted to go back to the Jets.
And Allen Robinson. I heard the Patriots are after Allen Robinson, AJ Green, and Anderson.
I mean, I think if you're Watson, for some reason, you just want to get out of Texas for some reason.
Not to kind of divert it a little bit, but the fact that I think the Bears, they gave up Khalil Mack too. He just got traded
for nothing. For nothing.
Yes, and they gave up what, 2 firsts? They give up 2 first-round picks for him.
Let's face it.
For Khalil Mack, all they gave up was like a 2nd-round pick. I think that's all they gave up.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. You're going to see a lot of big guys on the move, and they're going to be getting like Amari Cooper. If the Cowboys get rid of Amari Cooper, they're not getting a first like they gave up to get him. They might get a 3rd if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Hey, all I'm saying is that Chargers defense though beefed up with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Are you kidding me, man? Hey, but just real quick, we were talking about, is it worth it trading all in for Russell Wilson in Denver? I think Denver was absolutely right with that. I wrote down some of the starters on offense. I mean, you have Jerry Jeudy, you have Patrick, Sutton, Williams, and Russell Wilson. Like, that running back was so good last year. You have a quarterback now. That defense is still ready. Von Miller, throwing hints out that maybe he'd go back to Denver. But like you said, that though, like if I'm the Saints right now, right, and I have the option to go get a Watson for 3 first-round picks. He's a 26-year-old quarterback who was amazing in Texas with like no weapons. Heck yeah, I'd give it 3 first rounds right now for him.
But my thing is if I'm a GM, why would I want to give up all those picks for somebody like that when you can pick up a Jameis Winston for probably $18 million?
No, you're absolutely right. But at the end of the day, who has a better chance of getting you to a Super Bowl?
Not Watson.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, this is like when Carmelo Anthony got traded from the Knicks. He wanted everyone, like he had nobody left, right? Because they all got traded away from Denver when he went to the Nuggets. Like this could be the same thing. They trade Christian McCaffrey. Why would Watson go there without saying, "Hey, I want to keep him"?
But let me ask you this, guys. Why would you pick up a quarterback that doesn't look like he's been working out at all? He had nothing to do in training camp. They sent him home.
That's fair.
I would rather, honestly, I would take a chance on Colin Kaepernick, who's showing videos all the time of him working out. Looks like he's in great shape.
No,
Ace didn't like that one.
I mean, respect to Kaepernick, but
would you put $42 million on a quarterback that you don't know what he's doing compared to a guy who might want $15 million just to get back into the league?
This is my thing, man. Sean Payton's not in New Orleans anymore, and he had a great leash on Winston. I really believe that, and I like Winston. I told you, I've been texting you nonstop throughout the week that Winston's the main guy I want to get. If I can't get Winston and I can give up 3 first-round picks for a 26-year-old quarterback that performed outstanding numbers with Texans, who had a terrible offensive line and barely any weapons, absolutely. I mean,
that's not that far-fetched, actually, Chris, not to deep dive too much, but you think about it. Would the Texans, the Saints would trade Winston, and I think the Texans would grab him, probably, right? If it was included in the trade package. So maybe
Winston's a free agent. Winston's a free agent.
Oh, shoot, I forgot. Okay, well.
And let's face it, he's coming off injury. You could easily get him for a 1-year deal, 2-year
Absolutely.
deal. He's not getting 30-40 million. There's no way.
And that's why I think he'll be a great option for the Saints. That's what I've been saying to you all week. Like, I think Winston come back to New Orleans gives us the lead in that division. But if I can go get a Watson, like say the league's only going to like suspend it for 3 games or something, put Taysom in there for 3 games.
Mr. Klein right here. I'm drafting a quarterback every 5 years. I'm not paying a quarterback $50 million. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I
Yeah, but
like that philosophy too.
I'm not giving 20% of my cap to one player. I'm either picking up a free agent. I mean, look at Trubisky's out there. You have good quarterbacks out there that want a chance. I mean, look at these lower tier leagues at the XFL, the USFL, whatever. You could easily pick up a quarterback out of there. I'm not spending $50 million and ruining my team.
I just think at the end of the day, everyone's goal is to win a Super Bowl. So we bring this back to Denver, right? Denver could have stuck with Drew Lock. They could have drafted somebody, took a risk on one of these quarterbacks that not a single scout knows if one's going to be good or not. But instead, you are risking everything you have, just like the Rams did. Look at the Rams. They risked everything. They don't have a first-round pick for how long? But, hey, they got that ultimate goal that every coach, every player wants. That's to win a Super Bowl for your fans. And I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm over here working my phone like Ian Rapaport.
Hey,
Eagles just gave Travis Kelce a $14 million deal.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That was pretty good. And you said earlier, Max Crosby from the Raiders got 4 years, $98 million.
53 guaranteed.
Yeah. Hey,
What?
You imagine waking up in that. So when they say 53 million guaranteed, is that like you wake up the next day and that 53 million is in your bank account?
No, I think it's guaranteed over so many years. I think I'm not sure because Dak didn't wake up and get $153 million in his account. It still goes towards the cap. They spread it out, I guess.
Now let's talk about this big controversy that
I think the only thing. Hold on. I think the only thing that's guaranteed is signing bonuses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah. That's
you get that
you
right away.
You get that. Well, you see the New Orleans Saints. A lot of their reconstruction contracts are turning into signing bonus. So imagine waking up tomorrow and you have 53 million signing bonus money in your pocket. Can you imagine that? But let's talk about it, though. Carson Wentz gets traded to Washington. Kind of shocked everybody how fast the Colts wanted him out of there. Now they don't have a quarterback. Colts are saying he wasn't a leader. You saw Leonard, whatever his name is, the linebacker for the Colts. He was upset, saying there's a new quarterback every year. He gave props to Carson Wentz, said you didn't play bad. Listen, I think if Carson Wentz wins that last game of the year, it's a different story. I think the Colts are fine with it. I think I don't think Carson Wentz is elite. I mean, 3-4 years ago, he was competing for MVP of the year until he got injured. I do think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback that can get you to the playoffs, maybe win a couple of games, but I just don't think the Colts had a reason to trade him like that right off the bat after 1 year.
Look at 23 touchdowns, 7 picks last year. His leading receiver was Pittman with 88 receptions. His second wide receiver only had 30 receptions. His second best receiver was a running back.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton was injured.
Yeah,
so he had no line help. I mean, they had a great running game, but he's not to blame for that game against the Jags. He got sacked 6 or 7 times in that game. That's a failure at the line. That ain't on Wentz. Wentz got him that far.
I think it was too early to pull the trigger. I think you give him 1 more year and see what he does. But especially how great your running back is, man. They must have had a reason where they truly just did not like him.
Well, I mean, if you look on Vikings Twitter, everyone thinks Kirk Cousins is getting traded there. Like a lot of people think that for some reason.
Could you imagine that? A lot of people are saying Jimmy G's going to land there.
Or Jimmy G. And it's like, come on. Like Kevin O'Connell would not have signed. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
A lot of people have Jimmy G linked to the Saints too. And I'd rather have Winston because I don't know. Like, I think Winston.
Sorry. I was going to say, I also think Kirk's contract is too large. I don't think they're going to want to, I don't think the Colts want to take on maybe half of that in a trade. But again,
it's weird, right? Because the Colts, it's like, all right, if you traded Carson Wentz just to get Jimmy G, is that really an improvement? Don't get me wrong. I defend Jimmy G all the time because I say if the Saints would sign him, he doesn't put up big numbers, but he did get his team to the NFC Championship twice, got him to the Super Bowl.
His defense got him there.
Yes, you can say the defense got there, but at the end of the day, he still had to play offense. He didn't put 0 points up. He still had to do something to win that game, and he did. And that's why it's called a team sport. He did his part.
An interesting stat talking about Wentz. Of the 15 quarterbacks drafted in 2016, Dak Prescott is the only quarterback still with his original team.
Wow. I saw a crazy stat on Wentz where it was like his record against every other NFL team is like terrible. It's like under 500, but his record in the NFC East is like so good.
Let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something. Wentz benefited from this. He's going to a weak division. The Cowboys are downsizing. They're a mess. The Eagles are a decent team. The Giants are a decent team. And let's face it, in 18 years, nobody's won that division back to back. So that means the Cowboys won't win it this year. You know, and Washington's not a bad team. They fixed that O-line, and they got a good running back. Their O-line is their weakness, and their cornerbacks are a little bit weak. But their defense is solid, and they have a lot of weapons on offense. He's going to do well there.
They have a good team. Their offense is good. They got good running back. Gibson's back there is good. McLaren's good.
NFC East is wide open.
Oh yeah. And that defense is good. I know Chase Young got injured last year, but he's coming back. You know he's going to be hungry.
And by the way, the Giants are all in for Mitchell Trubisky because the Buffalo Bills roots that are now embedded in
that's huge.
In the Giants, they want Mitchell. And as a matter of fact, they went after, they were going one of the teams that went after Russell Wilson. They offered a bunch of draft picks. They offered Daniel Jones and Saquon, and Russell turned it down because he had the no trade clause.
Hold up!
Hey,
what?
Wait,
I didn't know that. I had
Ace,
not heard that before.
Ace, let's hold this up, Ace, real quick, because I want everyone on this podcast to know
What?
if we could replay podcasts from the past about how many times this man below me said 100 times it's official. Russell Wilson's going to Seattle because his wife, and I said no way.
Or
That man is going to New York. Yes, New York is what I meant.
Fair.
And look at that. He denied the trade to New York.
That's a great call too.
He denied. Washington offered 3 first-round picks for him. He denied that too. So
Denver's loaded, man.
Yeah. But let's face it, that division is so strong. If those teams split all season long in their division, I see 3 teams in that division going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hey, you know what's nice too is Patrick Mahomes finally has even more competition now too. I love that.
I got to say something though. I heard this on the way home on 105.3 The Fan. They gave the odds for winning the Super Bowl, and right now they have
the Saints,
the 49ers as the second best team to win the Super Bowl next year. Watch Tom Brady. Tom Brady is not done. Tom Brady, I'm telling you, he's gonna find a way. Tom Brady is gonna end up with the 49ers where he wants to go, and he's has said he wants to go there. Why would they be the second best team to go to the freaking Super Bowl?
Because Trey Lance is good.
Come on.
Hey,
they got a good team.
The insiders know something. Vegas knows something that we don't know.
Yeah, I know. Vegas always gets it right. They always get it right.
Yeah.
Hey, just to go back real quick to you talk about the Giants. I think Trubisky with the Bills roots, like you said, that might be and I'm pretty sure they'd say that they would have an open QB competition between him and Daniel Jones. You think
let's face it, fumbling Danny's not going to win that contest.
Maybe you pick up. There's a lot of free agent wide receivers. Maybe you draft one. They got 2, I think, first round picks. Draft an offensive lineman, draft a receiver. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Daniel Jones isn't even a starter in the XFL. I'm sorry.
No, he is.
God,
I wouldn't shoot. Yeah, I wouldn't shoot that low. And then wasn't it Collins that got released from the Redskins? What if he goes back to the Giants as a safety with your Bill Peppers?
And you know what's funny? Daniel Jones, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott are some of the guys that have the biggest hands in football, and they fumble more than anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, man, that trade had me boggled. The fact that the Giants would literally give up everything for Wilson. That literally caught me off guard. And then you said Daniel Jones isn't a XFL starter, so I think that's why Seattle probably turned that down too. Even both sides probably turned that down.
If I'm Seattle though, I don't want Daniel Jones who is struggling every year injured. I don't want a Saquon who's played one full season. Like, what do we benefit out of that besides getting maybe 3 first round picks? Unless they've retraded Saquon.
Speaking of Mitchell Trubisky, since 1996, 50 quarterbacks have been drafted. Only 1 quarterback has never thrown a pick 6. That's Mr. Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, but you know who's beaten him twice in the playoffs? The Saints.
Chewing that stat.
God. Let him end up in the Giants. That'll be the most watched freaking QB competition you'll see in a while.
Let me ask you guys something. What's one thing you guys want your team to do this free agency? Or one player you want to re-sign, or one of your players you want to re-sign?
Get a new GM that actually has pressure on them. It's not family run.
That's a great point. Yeah, mine was going to be more practical. Try to see if we could. Theoretically, I want Cousins to take a pay cut in a dream scenario. because
Ace,
we
as
have
Ace, as the
Thielen,
representative
Kendricks.
of the Vikings fans out there, you're speaking for all the Vikings fans. What
No,
what do
he's
you
not
think these
going to.
Vikings fans would want to see in this offseason?
There's rumors that Thielen might they got to do something with Thielen's contract. He's owed a lot. Kendricks, a lot of our veterans, Harrison Smith. So now you also have what just happened in Green Bay, where a quarterback that doesn't want to budge with what he thinks he's worth, which is, I mean, sadly, top 5 money. And in this case, he's going to want about 45 mil. So that means you're going to likely lose some of those guys I just mentioned,
Wow.
which sucks. So
Does suck
that's,
it.
yeah, that's why I'd love to get Rudy's thoughts on this too, honestly, because maybe I'm thinking of something, but I like, Kris said no. It's just like,
no.
Cousins wants what he wants. Can you argue that? Like, I don't. For instance, Kyler Murray. Who's more deserving of a bigger contract, Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins? Right? Like, I don't even know that question. Kyler, okay.
Probably. The only reason I would say Kyler is just because of how he's turned the Cardinals around. Yes, he played bad in the playoffs. I think Kirk Cousins is playing well statistically. It's just like, what had the Vikings done the past 2 years besides beat the Saints in the playoffs?
Epic. Oh, he wasn't quarterback at that epic time. But yeah.
One thing I would want as for all my Saints fans out there, I would like us to get a quarterback, a good quarterback, not just some crappy like draft pick or, probably Winston is the best option. Re-sign Winston. That's our main goal right now before someone else picks him up. And to re-sign Marcus Williams. I know there's rumors about the Honey Badger being linked to New Orleans. Yes, that'd be amazing if he took the veterans minimum. But Marcus Williams, the guy who did miss the tackle for the Minnesota Miracle, he'll probably always be remembered for that tackle. He's amazing young safeties, probably top 10 ranked. We need to re-sign him, keep our defense solid because we don't know what our offense is going to look like.
Cowboys, I think that it sounds like Lyle Collins, right, might be on the block. They have some
I just got breaking news on my phone. The Browns are close to a deal for Amari Cooper.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah, so the real contenders for Amari Cooper.
Does that mean they'll keep Jarvis Landry now? Does that mean
Jarvis is gone? They can't afford both of them. I mean, they're picking up $20 million a year. Man, that's crazy. I mean, but
isn't Jarvis still on the team? But they just thought they were going to trade him or something, or was he going to walk or something? I don't remember.
But the Cowboys.
Yo, but if you're Cooper though, are you happy about that though?
I mean, is Landry gone though? Is he actually? I know he said some stuff. Does he actually want out though?
No, he doesn't want out.
He doesn't want out. He doesn't want out
because you bring him back now.
That's a decent
offense with Peoples Jones Drews, and you tagged Njoku.
Yeah. The thing that frustrates me about this whole thing with the Cowboys is you look at where they were. They were 12-5 last year. The NFC is definitely weaker than it was last year. You're gonna have the Rams who are gonna have to shuffle some money around or shuffle some players around or lose some players. You have Seattle who just basically lost everybody. You have Arizona who has a disgruntled quarterback. You have the Packers as the main team right now. So why are we getting rid of weapons? I mean, restructured deals. The Zeke contract is the worst contract in football. If we
restructured that though.
Not this year, not Zeke. We did it last year, and that's why he'll be a $38 million dead cap hit if we got rid of him.
I thought they just restructured Zeke's contract to save the money.
Last year they did it. Now they can't do anything. They can't do anything with him until 2023. If we got rid of him, he's like 16 million against the cap this year. If we cut him, it's 38 million of dead cap money. So it's stupid. We just cut Greg the leg. We just cut our backup tight end Bell. We made $6 million there. They got one of our best offensive linemen out on the market right now, Lael Collins, who's only getting $10 million. That is like the 92nd contract as far as linemen go. I mean, that's a cheap deal for the next 3 years. You're going to pay him $10 million, where most people are getting $18 to $20 million. And then you have Connor Williams, who's a free agent, and then you have Tyron Smith, who can't play a full season.
It's weird in Dallas situation, like you said. Like, I mean, number one, they're looking at Bobby Wagner, right? So it's like clearly they're not looking to rebuild, but it's like, you're letting a lot of people walk. If I'm Dallas, you're figuring out the Amari Cooper situation, and then you go and look at offensive linemen, right? Teron Armstead, one of the best offensive linemen in the game, is clearly not come back to the Saints because we have no priority to sign. We don't have enough money. We need to sign a quarterback. Go beef up your offensive line, restructure some deals, keep Cooper, draft a receiver or a defense. Like your offense is so talented.
Mhm.
And it's like what's happening in Dallas? Like what this is why
Well,
I would love to I would love to have
you tag a tight end that's going to get $11 million now.
yeah,
So-
like I would love to have a GM on here just so that we could see and think about like what do they know that we don't know, that they're shopping Amari to the Browns, possibly, that they're getting rid of people. Like maybe they love the draft class, or maybe they had a free agent that they're going to go get.
And the thing that's crazy
shout
is
out to any GMs.
the thing that's crazy is they can't afford Cedric Wilson, which is sad. They got outbid. They're getting outbidded for their Pro Bowl kicker Anger. They can't afford to do nothing. I mean, they restructured Dak's deal. They restructured Martin's deal to free up $22 million to get us back into the black. And they just said today DeMarcus Lawrence isn't going anywhere. You still haven't signed Randy Gregory. You still have 21 free agents on your team that you haven't touched
Why didn't you tag Randy Gregory and then go after tight end free agency?
Why do you tag your tight end that you can pick up anywhere? You can pick one up in the draft. I mean, we already have one from Michigan that's on our team.
Maybe they like somebody. Yeah. Maybe
it's just frustrating.
Hey, for all we know, Cooper won it out. Maybe he wasn't happy, and it's like Dallas is like, all right, well, we're not going to have someone on here who's going to play half the talent that they want to be. We'll get a draft pick and go draft a receiver like CeeDee Lamb that wants to be here. Maybe we'll all unfold.
You can't blame him for being paid $20 million and only having 68 receptions. I mean, if the guy's not getting open, you can blame him, but you got to start looking at the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. I mean, you have all that talent on that team.
Yeah.
And we lost in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at the end of the day too, you look at culture and it's probably he said battle too sometimes. And who knows what goes on in some of those meetings, but I'm sure there's animosity a lot of times. Like think of how often these guys are together too. So I don't know. I think you're right. I think play calling and a lot of get the guy the ball if you're going to pay him that much money,
And this is why I'm not paying my quarterback $40+ million. I'm not. I'm putting more weapons on the field around him. You'll make enough money in Dallas on endorsements, your little sleep number bed. And the thing is about Dak is look at all the injuries that are piling up now. He's like another Romo. The shoulder, the knee, the ankle, the calf. I mean, what's next?
I mean, you think about it, though, it's his first year back from major injury, so maybe it took its toll on his body. Like, I think next year is a very important year to evaluate Dak and see how he handles everything. I think if Dak is not performing well, I think it's a very, very important time to think maybe he's not the franchise quarterback.
It's bad when Noah turns on him, and Noah's a diehard Dacker. He loves Dak to death.
Yeah. And
when Noah starts turning on him, then there's something going on.
Yeah.
Ooh, we might have to clip this out.
Let him hear it. At least he's listening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not spending $40+ million on a quarterback. I'm not putting 20% of my cap towards one player. I'm gonna go find me. Look at Tannehill. Tannehill's a good quarterback. I don't care what anyone says about him. They're always decent in the playoffs. Get him a good players around him, and he'll be solid. He'll do his job. I'm sick of this next man up. Got to get overpaid than the next guy. You're gonna see guys making $55 million. Wait till Joe Burrow and all of them come up.
Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't manage a team like that. You're right.
I mean, there's rumors out there saying that the deal that Rodgers got isn't true. The Pat McAfee show dropped a lot of tidbits the other day. But I did say 2 years, $100 million, even though, it still works out to $50 million. He's getting supposedly 4 years, $200 million, $153 million guaranteed. And you know what's sad is when Eli Manning retired, him and his brother Peyton Manning were the highest total earnings, the highest two quarterbacks in football, 1 and 2. In 4 years, Rodgers is going to make 80% of that.
Wow,
that's crazy. That's too much money for one player on a team. And and from what they said with the guaranteed money or however the lingo is, it brings down the cap hit, which. I don't know. It's a lot of money, man.
God, yeah. All right. Where do we set sail?
You want to hit us with some hot six?
I was going to say a little NBA talk too.
No, we could talk about the Sixers laying an egg last night. And what did I say? The Sixers do not have shooters. All those freaking missed shots last night, they couldn't hit threes. And I know the adrenaline was pumping.
I just think we can't base
blown out.
I just
We
do
got
not
blown
think you can. I don't think you can look at last night's game and say the Sixers don't have shooters because we're now 5-1 with Harden. Like we have been shooting, we've been making the shots.
5-1 against the Knicks and Minnesota and teams that don't matter.
That's not true. We played the Bulls. The Bulls were good. We played good teams. You can't. No,
the Bulls are 0-13 against teams with a winning record.
They are.
Listen,
that's a good stat too. They are bad. Like literally
number one.
Defeated, I think
the Nets are a great team, but their record is terrible, right? So also,
they're healthy.
Everybody was making shots before this game. Harden was getting 20 points. Maxey was getting 20 points. Embiid was getting 20 points. We were getting rebounds. We just did not play the game we were supposed to play. So you can't sit there and look at yesterday's game and be like, yeah, we sucked. This is a terrible trade.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. Because Harden has a history at Oklahoma and at Houston of not showing up for big games. And they said it last night on TNT. Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal both said it. He does not show up at clutch time. And what happened last night? He didn't show up at clutch time. How many times did he drive to the hole and turn the ball over because he's looking for a foul?
Well, there was a lot of there was a lot of fouls that weren't.
I understand
but also you're looking at just Harden because you're looking at the trade. Embiid only had 5 points without getting fouled. Maxey didn't even show up. Danny Green didn't even play. Who's getting points? Nobody. We got most of our points on fouls. Nobody. It was a team failure. It wasn't just a Harden. We can't point this as the trade that this went bad.
If we had Seth Curry on our team, though, we'd be hitting those shots. Seth Curry
absolutely.
Went off
I like Seth Curry. Yeah. I like Seth Curry. He shoots well at the three.
Can't shoot. Tobias Harris actually
how you gonna say Nane can't shoot when Nane nailed 5 threes yesterday? He was making more points than our starters.
How many did he put though? 20? 5 of 20? He missed a lot.
He didn't shoot for 20.
Danny Green is useless. He's not even playing. He's street close part 2. He's on the bench.
Oh no,
he's not playing.
Yes.
We gave away our key pieces, Ty, and that's my thing. Is if it comes to a playoff game against a team like this, we're in trouble. We really are, because you can't depend on Embiid and Harden to be there the whole time. When these guys get open shots, Maxey looked like trash last night. He looked scared. Maxey looked scared.
I mean, this is my thing, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Playoff atmosphere, absolutely. We got a test of it. We failed. We gave one shooter. That was Seth Curry. Tobias Harris isn't playing well right now. James Harden did not play well. Embiid didn't play well besides getting fouls. Maxey didn't play well. Bad team game. Shake it off. It's the professional league. You play for the next one. You learn from this. I'm happy the Nets kind of beat us yesterday because then when if we play them in the playoffs, brought us down to earth a little bit. Hopefully we hit the practice and we start shooting. Tobias Harris started to get hot at the end of the game. He has not molded well with Harden yet. I think once he molds, he will replace the Seth Curry for us. He needs to start shooting more. I don't know why he's not.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that stat. But
I think if
Harden should have been in the gym last night after the game shooting more threes, but he was out partying with little baby last night.
Hey, it's not. I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't. I like our team.
Right.
I still like our team. I like our team, and I'm excited to see what happens. You're right. It was a blowout yesterday. I was mad watching that game. We missed everybody.
I turned it off after the third.
But I'm not just going to sit here and I'm not going to say, yep, Harden sucked. This trade sucked because Simmons hasn't even played yet. Really, all it is a flop for Seth Curry and Harden. And based off when Harden's play, we're 5-1. I'm happy with that.
And I'll tell you right now, that's the scary thing. Simmons hasn't played yet. Simmons doesn't have to score on that team. Simmons all he has to do is be the leader, drive the ball, and get it to the open players. And they shot, and they nailed shots like it was nothing last night. It's because they're a good shooting team. You have Kyrie, you have Seth Curry, and they have a big man now. We gave them the piece they were missing, a big man. And that's going to come back to hurt us. And that's why I picked Miami to go to the championship out of the East.
This is my only thing I'm going to take out of yesterday's game, right? Obviously, I'm upset we didn't play well. Okay, I'm over it. Move on to the next one. The only thing that really stuck out to me that I kept watching and seeing that made me mad is Embiid would not play defense. And I don't know if it's because he was scared to get fouled out because he's scoring so many points during the game. But there were so many times when a guy would go for a layup or a dunk and he would be right there and he wouldn't even jump. And I'm looking at the screen like, you can't be scared to get fouled out. Yes, you're our leading scorer, but you're almost 7 foot tall. Put a block. That's
the thing. He got double teamed a lot last night, but he was back to his old flopping self. The only thing I did like is he put his elbow in the chest of Durant and knocked him to the ground.
That was an amazing part of the game. The first quarter, then the Ben Simmons chance started. I was fired up. I just think, man, I don't know. We didn't show up. We didn't show up to work yesterday. That's basically what it came down to.
People paid $5,000 for tickets behind the bench.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. Let me tell you something. I know we lost, but that game between the Nets and Philly, that's more than a rivalry, man. That was exciting. Like that made me excited for the playoffs. Because I think you line us up against the Nets 5 times like that, we're not playing like that.
I mean, they want to.
Again.
What did I mention? So the Nets are 8th seed. Sixers are 3 seeds. So I mean, the Nets would have to move down, obviously, a couple spots for them to play, but it's not out of the question right now that they start off. They could meet though, arguably. We'll see. Hey, shout out to the Timberwolves, by the way. All you Minnesota Timberwolves fans out there. 6 straight wins.
Not many out there.
We're 7th seed. How about that? We're 7th seed, 38-29 record actually in the Western Conference, surprisingly. I took Daphne's, like I mentioned, February 15th to a game against Charlotte. They played LaMelo Ball. I was actually we were down probably 7 to 10 points with like 4 minutes left. And we had not shot the ball well at all, but we forced overtime and ended up winning. And we've kind of carried it on since then, honestly. So
it's good.
It's a bright spot to see in Minneapolis. They kind of need it after everything that's been going on with the city. So
that's good. That's good.
Dude, I saw somebody posted a picture after one of the games, like literally 2 days after they had a game at home or a day after I had went to the game. Guy posted a picture of his Escalade or a Tahoe, whatever it was. The front windshield was absolutely just busted out in the same parking structure like we had parked in Minneapolis. Yeah, it was kind of scary.
No, here's something that just came out a couple of days ago, and I just saw it now. Bradley Beal wants to join the Sixers in the offseason to team up with Harden. Now, that's a guy that could be a difference maker.
Yeah, but that's a guy that me and you talked about. He's never healthy.
I know, but that's a guy that can give you 20 points a night. He's a lock. But what are you going to give up to get him?
This is my thing with that is Maxey is almost averaging 20 points a game. Yes, he laid a goose egg yesterday, but Maxey's like barely 22, 23. Like I'd rather roll with a Maxey than come bring an old guy in who might take time over someone else and barely play because he gets injured. And I love how James Harden is all over Maxey, training him, you could see them on the bench talking about different things. That's why I told you that I think if Tobias Harris can get hot,
he's the key.
He's the key because Maxey and Embiid and Harden are almost averaging 20 points a game together. If he can get at least 10 to 15 points a game, we are rolling because now we have Jordan on the center behind Embiid. He's playing great defense. That's why I'm saying
3 games out too. So it's not a question.
That's why I'm just saying you cannot let this game take us down. You have to just get up off your hot
The thing that's horrible is why aren't they playing Corky anymore? Korkmaz has not touched the floor often until the games are either over or not. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's been in a slump lately, but you got to get him in there. You need guys that can shoot the 3, and that's what's killing the Sixers right now. You really don't have those guys anymore.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. Your center had more 3-pointers made last night than Harden.
Yeah, Harden shooting. He just like I said, they laid an egg yesterday. But how do you guys want to take this one out?
I have some pitchers that the Twins should get if they really half of them. That was going to be the quick 6, but honestly, it's sort of
all right. Give us your quick
to think of.
Give us your quick 6, Ace.
World Series projections right now.
God, no.
Johnny Cueto, so early.
Johnny Cueto's available. Zach Greinke, I want them to sign, and Tyler Anderson. I think you mentioned him earlier, Kris, for the Braves.
Probably get those guys for pretty cheap too.
And the thing with baseball is you need depth. You really need depth at the starting pitching position. Okay, those are 3 pitchers that I have, but then I wanted to do shortstops quick because we are in dire need. But we're also going to build within.
Hot take: the Saints are going to pass on Winston, trade for Watson. Tomorrow's headlines.
Hey, Brandon Crawford, Didi Gregorius.
Brandon Crawford. Oh, Didi Gregorius is a free agent. I'd bring him back to New York.
No, I'll take all 3 of them for the Twins, or one of the 3.
Brandon Crawford is a great shortstop and he hit so well last year. Didi is an amazing player, and I would take him.
But defensively, but offensively, he's had a bad
He's struggling
couple years.
a little bit. Yeah.
Those are all Twins fans. Don't get your hopes up on these, by the way.
and which is crazy because 2 years ago you guys were like freaking stellar.
They still are. They just need they've been injured. Everyone's been getting injured.
Bomba
That's
squad.
They
The
have
White
such a
Sox
great.
are tough. The White Sox are
Yeah, now the White Sox have come on. Like, this is going to be interesting. Detroit will kind of be bad, but who knows? Cleveland and White Sox will be good usually.
Yo,
But
one quick NFL note: the Eagles were all in for Calvin Ridley before he got suspended. Once he got suspended, they backed out. The sad thing is he got suspended for a full season. You have guys like Ray Rice who only got 2 games, and there was a video of him drop kicking his wife. Greg Hardy only got 10 games, which was reduced to 4 games after having all that stuff with those guns and everything going after his wife. I think the NFL is making an example of Calvin Ridley. I mean, he bet on his teams to win. He didn't bet. I mean, he did a Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they're making an example of him, which isn't fair to him. But
My girlfriend's out here. My girlfriend's out here on the balcony making a TikTok. I think it's hilarious. But I agree with you. I think that is sad. Fletcher Cox is also on the rumors. There's a lot coming with MLB. There's a lot coming with NFL. I told you guys it's going to be the best offseason. I'm excited to see it all unfold. But I'm happy. I hope everyone enjoys the new feature we're doing on Zoom. Maybe we won't even enjoy it. But yeah.
We'll get used to it. If not.
Got a lot of learning to do
hold
on
up.
this end, but we'll be all right.
Are you seeing Batman tonight?
No, instead of Batman tonight, we're going to walk down some pier or something, get some food, dinner tonight. Because I didn't know exactly what we were going to do tonight as far as what time for the podcast. So we just
my food's here. I saw the DoorDash thing on.
Oh yeah,
DoorDash baby. Yeah.
Oh, perfect
Cool.
time. Perfect time.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Check out our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Continue to follow all that, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.